As the waves continue to batter the trash man, her crew scramble for their lives.
You don't think about dying, you don't think about drowning, you don't think about anything. You think about getting away from this boat that it's going under, and it's sinking in less than 2 minutes. It's just going down like a big rock.
Mark frantically struggles to free the fiberglass canister that contains an inflatable life raft and survival equipment, while Brad tries to salvage the small rubber dinghy.
I swam after the dinghy, kicking off my sea boots and my foul weather bottoms, thinking, my dad's gonna kill me. I've just let his boots sink. And then thoughts of my mother and how horrified she was gonna be and how sad that when she learned that I had died there in the ocean.
Mark heaves the canister off the boat and follows it into the ocean.
The life raft inflates. And Mark's still holding on, and eventually he just lets go. The life raft is blown away, and we weren't going to find it in the middle of the night.
Did you manage to get anything from the yacht?
Nothing!
We're dead!
Inside that life raft was everything that we needed to live, to survive what we were going through. It had an emergency beaconing device, which a plane could have picked up on, had water makers to make fresh water from salt water.
Food, fish hooks, mirrors, signaling devices.
And in that rubber Zodiac dinghy, we had absolutely nothing.
I'm so sorry I lost the life raft!
Our chances for survival were 0. We're all gathered around the rubber Zodiac dinghy, and I remember watching Trash Man as the last little foot of her mast slipped under the water, and it was the most devastatingly lonely feeling that I've ever felt in my life.
By contacting the Coast Guard, they should have been on the way. Cavalry rushing in. All we needed to do was stay afloat, and they'd find us. The next day, when the sun finally came up, the sky was overcast and gray.
The air temperature being 40, we would definitely succumb to hypothermia.
Let's get under the dinghy. There's a shelter. I can't.
No!
I can't.
We'll be out of the wind!
Instead of getting into the dinghy, Debbie suggests the crew get underneath it, using it to shield them from the cold winds. She knows that if their body temperatures drop too low, they're all in big trouble.
Oh, come on! Check on you!
The sad thing was that Meg just couldn't participate. I think it was too painful for her. But more than anything, Meg was very claustrophobic.
They're in the water for 6 hours before Debbie decides their plan isn't working.
Okay, we gotta get out of the water. It's cooling us down.
Get him in there!
We devised a system where we positioned our bodies suspended by a line that we'd rigged.
Lie down next to him.
By stacking ourselves like a bunch of fuel rods in a nuclear power plant, we were able to share our body heat and to keep ourselves warm.
That's fine for the crew sandwiched up under the dinghy, but Meg's still in the water, and it's sucking the warmth out of her body faster than she can make it up. The blood supply to her arms and legs is shutting down. Her breathing quickens as her heart races to support the shivering that's trying to warm her up. If her body temperature continues to drop, Meg's heart will stop beating. Whatever the risk, Debbie just knows that they have to get her out of the water.
We decided we would flip the Zodiac dinghy over and we lift Meg in. I was horrified at her wounds. The wire in the rigging had cut almost all the way to the bone, and she had huge gaping wounds on her leg. It was heartbreaking. Just those wounds alone were a death sentence.
It's too bloody cold out here. Let's turn it back over. We're gonna freeze to death.
Look, man, you want to go back in the water, help yourself. There's a whole ocean out there.
We hung there for a minute, and pretty soon he goes, "Quit kicking me."
I'm not touching you.
You did it again. Cut it out.
What are you talking about? I'm not kicking you.
Stop now.
And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna look in the water, and I'm gonna see where his legs are, and I'm gonna stay as far away from him as I can. And it was the most eerie sensation. And I noticed these like torpedo-shaped bodies. And I thought, fish. And then all of a sudden one came really close, and I realized it was like hundreds of sharks. They were everywhere.
Sharks!
And just the minute we got in, fins just everywhere in the water. And I don't mean like 2 or 3. I mean 10, 20. They were everywhere.
Every shark in the ocean's here.
Meg's open wound is leaving a trail of blood and pus. Even though it's quickly diluted in the ocean, infinitely small traces remain that sharks can detect. The tiny folded tissues in their nose are lined with millions of chemical sensors that give it an extraordinary sense of smell, 10,000 times more powerful than a human's. Sharks literally can detect a drop in the ocean.
I've never seen so many sharks in my life, not in my entire trip around the world. It was the most frightening feeling I've ever felt.
Mark, I'm warning you! Do not hit a single shark with that! Are you out of your mind? What do you think's what? You're gonna calm them down? Give me that!
Our biggest threat was not just the coal, but a wave breaking underneath us and flipping the Zodiac over and dumping us back into the shark-infested water. So what we had to do is devise a system to try to slow the little rubber Zodiac down.
Hey, Debbie, do you think maybe we can make a sea anchor out of this thing? Stabilize this tub?
But as soon as we threw the piece of plywood over the front of the boat, the shark swam up and grabbed it in its mouth.
These were not little sharks. And this one was big enough to pull a 13-foot rubber Zodiac dinghy with 5 people in it wildly through the water.
By nightfall, the storm dies down and the strong winds move out. This band of 5 is grateful to have survived a shark attack, but they remain wet and cold, and now hungry and unbearably thirsty.
We were each at one end of the raft. He wouldn't talk to me. He was so pissed off at me.
I'm so sorry, Brad.
I just want to relax because of all this death that's been happening. And as soon as I take a break, I look at the horizon, and there's a ship coming straight at us.
Debbie.
I'm gonna make it up to you. Let's catch fish. We're going to survive.
Debbie, there's your ship.
I had heard it was a ship so many times. I just didn't. Big deal. It's a ship. They're not going to see us.
Turn around.
Look how close it is. And I turned around, and it was amazing.
And the ship came by, and it went by, and a guy walked out on the wing bridge and looked down at us, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I waved at him, and he waved at me, and next thing I knew, there wasn't just one person that came out, but there were like 5, 6 people. They were all coming out. They threw all their life-saving equipment out at us, and Debbie jumps off the boat, and I'm like, what? You know, don't leave your friend Brad here all alone.
What? No goodbyes? Nothing?
I was holding the rope that held the life ring, and they started winching us in.
And then a big sailor picked us both up.
And when they finally hand me off to the last guy, he just gently lays me on the deck, and I realized that they were Russian. And I didn't care. It was, I didn't care where I was going. I didn't care who these people were. I was lying there, and Brad was there, and we were alive.
These guys did a fantastic job getting us on board the vessel, and oh, it was just so great. I mean, the whole thing was just so great. That was just wonderful. And then, you know, but it was just the start of our journey back to life.